All I'm doing is flowing to a beat that I got to get me down the streets. You see, it's concrete, not abstract. Everything has got to be met with facts, that's evidence. And what is not evident is what they meant when they said protect the kids. Which ones? Because I know which ones you've been standing in front of, refusing them access to education, literacy. This is the federal law. It's under IDEA, under an IEP, Individualized Education Plan, and why I am command an answer after all this time. I made it very clear from the beginning that I was gonna ask one thing and one thing only. What are you gonna do about safety, since it keeps happening, and what I saw with my own eyes, heard with my own ears? Just lower the standard, slap a name on it. That's how you get in front of it when you got kids that enter learning every diversity, disability. Every kid, student, child has a right to have the opportunity that you got, that got you to that spot. Why maybe I'm piping hot. You made it, correct? You sit there and yet you have no defenses. Your offenses are weak and frustrated. It makes sense. You didn't create it. And you have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk about law. Well, that's why I'm curious to know if the people who also saw what I saw, how is it so easy that they can forget? I guess I don't have the luxury. It's in my body. And okay, so I've got to talk about it, and yet that's a private thing. And why I had to teach myself to sing. Started breathing again. It's that intake a breath. And why I had to pretend I'm this little bear sitting on a float. It's called imagination. Oh, where did you go? These children tell you everything in these homes because they can't lie, they're honest. And that's where I saw it unroll. Always in the past, you think the parents on your side, well, it died as disability. You can't really decide how anyone feels about anything, quite frankly. Those are your children, you see. That's why you trust instinctual. That's the reliability. And why I had to go to the country and watch lambs being born. That's a seed for later, so I don't forget the direction I want to go. It's not backwards, and yet you have to go backwards to move forwards. It's very frustrating, but not when you're in education. That's the day-to-day, literally. 10, 15, 20, 30 times a day, I'm triggering. Yeah, and that's why I'm 100% certain I know exactly what I mean, and now that I've had my voice, whatever, in my neck, I'm at a different position, and yet I don't feel nervous. I feel more like me, that's right. I'm at 3 minutes 13. And that's why when I edit it out, the next thing you're gonna hear are no more shouts and pouts, because I figured it out. Who is interested? Moving on to the next ones group. Are the ones that I'm saying thank you to. That means the cities, the artists, the musicians, and the blues. And why I'm meant to be in Chicago. See, that's the city that made me trigger, yo. The entire motherfucking city at some point. That's why triggers and traumas are real. I have over 400 recordings to get me to this. That means I get 1 more minute to spit it. You did it, admit it, then move on, but learn from it. Otherwise, that's the problem, that's the triggering. That's what causes all of the hurt. So I'm going to rework and wonder who is going to step up and measure up, because if we're going to put standards and pressures on kids to do things we demand, there better be a purpose, because if they ever figure out to rework this, which is don't listen to the grown-ups. You've got your own voice. Seriously, you're a man. You don't have a choice. And that is the only thing I'll say about that, because I want to focus on decision making that is gender-free. Literally, a whole new ideology, way to be, life philosophy. I think it's just a teacher who is displaced, not erased, just trying to regain moments where it doesn't seem so hopeless. I use my imagination to cope. Amazing. Not really when you start to talk to kids. Seriously, they're so interested. They want to know everything and they're curious. You don't get that forever, so it's an open window now shut. That's why I say no and ifs or buts. Next thing I'm gonna do is face something horrible, and why I need to build my resiliency in these flows, you see? A voice to remind me that there's some place I can go, not knowing, not being able to predict what's gonna happen when I show up, and though the reaction will stay with me in my body's in my memory, because it reacts to everything else. The lack of response, it's the behavior. And why I'm saying wait till I have wait till what I have in store. Yikes, that's when I come knocking at your door, and my verbal cues and irregularities tell me I'm not ready to face that. And now that you recognize that this is no choice, will you stop talking to me about I told you from the very beginning, it's about functioning. It's about getting help, getting true support. The things that help people live carefree in safety, which is the modern day luxury. Raising your voice is loud to get to the chants and cheers, because that's what I'm most excited for. Again, been waiting at your door. I guess I'm going to start pounding and taking all that cold wind that I've been absorbing, throwing it, flinging it back at you. Just curious to know what you're gonna do. P.U. how I got out of that zoo. Oh my goodness, it's a great, wonderful journey. And why the shift, the flip, the swirl, it's happening. And here we go, another lay my scene. It's how I expose my dreams into a new atmosphere. Last time, because there will be no next time. Pain, shit, messed up already. Shame, fear, guilt, and anger. You're gonna get out of here. No more danger, danger. The way I've learned to manage their carnage and how they do real damage. Ooh, how it settles in. No more tailspin, just wiggle, which is the sign of a kitty cat when she's happy, comfortable, or excited. Questioning, always. And that's why I trust those who need to remember will do so. And when they do, it will be a connection like no other. Because I always believe, when in this life to get through it, you just have to be the voices for each other. Super duper easy. That's what lessons and student teaching and then becoming a special educator taught me. And that's all I need to be. Yep, going on to 9 and then 10 minutes. That doesn't mean that I'm finished. It just means that all these feelings we will now diminish.
He records everything. It's part of her mental cognition strategy.